There is nothing better than when an action film showcases the women being in the forefront and they're kicking ass and taking names. And that's what this film did. So, yep, let's jump into the review of the new film, The Fatal Raid. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the film The Fatal Raid, which is making its way to DVD and Blu-ray August 24th along with a English dub, because it is a Chinese film, so it's spoken in Chinese with English subtitles. Now, this film has been out or released sometime last year, so now it's making its way to the US territories, and I checked it out and I thought it was an okay film. There was definitely something that I had a huge gripe about, and that is the slow motion scenes. They overkilled it. Way too many. Every single moment that they got a chance to do so, slow motion. And that's cool as a trick in regards to cinematography or editing, whatever, to some points. But to keep doing it, you're just like, what, this again? And that's what it just kept doing. And while I thought the stunts were good, I thought the choreography of the action was good, I thought the gunfights were okay. There was definitely some flaws in that. Definitely flaws with some of the things that happened in some of the gunfights too. I still found ways to enjoy this film because, again, I think I was just really I was really refreshed by women being the forefront of the ones kicking ass in this. And usually in these type of films, you know, women's are damsels in distress or a sidekick, but they were actually the ones doing a lot of the damage too. And by all means, this film did try to sneak in the guys being at the forefront at some points too. You're just like, but why? What's the point? You already invested us into the women being in the lead, and then you're trying to sneak the guys in at some point, but whatever. Anyway, the synopsis with this is that you have an ultra-violent cops and gangsters bloodbath leaves casuals on both sides. 20 years later, everybody comes back to the scene of the crime, and victims from that now are back at it again. I just like really summed that up, but because that's really what it is. Like, there's another mission that happens 20 years later, and then all of a sudden some of the folks that were on the scene of the previous one all come back, and it's a reunion on everybody, and yeah, no one's happy to see each other. So that's what happens. So there's that incident. 1 year, 20 years later, another incident. Everybody's like, I know you, and it's not because I like you. So that's what happens here. But yeah, this film had a lot of gunfights, like a lot, and they really brought heavy artillery. Like people were sizing each other up. It was like somebody had this, then they had this, and then somebody was like, all right, cool, I got this, and they just kept bringing bigger and bigger guns. And with that case, like the sound was super loud. At a point, I'm pretty sure I was in that gunfight. It was so loud. The music was the best part of this film. I thought the music was insane at times. Like, I was turned up from it. I wish they would have played a lot more of it, because the moments where they did have the soundtrack on, and the soundtrack was dope. So I was feeling that. I thought the visuals were okay, especially with some of the visuals with the blood splatter. I thought that could have been better. Like, some of them was just like, clearly it's fake blood, and these things, especially when you're going to show blood splatter, you want to make a lot of emphasis to make it look as real as it can, because we're looking for that, especially when you're trying to figure out what's the tone of the film. Like, hey, is this PG and people are just dying and, you know, no blood? Oh, you're bringing big guns and you're having an entire gunfight for 30 minutes. Oh, it better be blood, and if it is blood, we want to see it splattered all over the place. We want to see limbs falling off and everything. I mean, that's just the level of degree of what some people are invested into some of these scenes. So, you know, that's why we're keying into small things, just as like if this blood looks real or not. So that's one thing that definitely could have been better. The action was solid, also could have been better, but again, I really appreciate the women handling their business. Like, they had some of the best scenes, some of the best choreography, and they really changed the tone at times where it felt like just a repetitive same old action film that you've seen before. And speaking of the scene that didn't make sense to me, there was this one scene, and clearly dude had PTSD from the first time everybody was all hanging out together when they had the first incident, but like, he completely goes brainwashed, and he gets up into visual sight of a gunfight and he gets shot. But when he gets shot, it wasn't like he inadvertently got shot. It's almost like he purposely got himself shot. And it looks so terrible how it was done. It was just like, I'm trying to buy into the idea he's having PTSD, but just how it was done, I just could not. I really, really couldn't, like, for real. And I understand they were suffering from trauma or whatnot, but like, it just looked dumb how it was done. And then after that happens, he goes into overdrive and destroys everybody. It was something for real. But overall, in these type of action films, you always want to know what is going to be in the final phase of this film. And I thought the final fight was pretty damn good. I will, especially good hand in hand. When the shotguns came out, the shenanigans came out with it. And then the score, I thought, was just intense with it. It just really brought it all together good. But I will say that when they did some of these flashback moments to the first time they all hung out, I thought they were kind of placed weirdly, where it was just like they had so much momentum in how the action was going. Then they started showing flashback clips. It's like, no, we don't care about that. Show us what's happening now. So I felt like that was kind of like a little bit misplacing with the flashback stuff. And then for a film that was pretty much premised around justice, everybody was ruthless. Like, there was a lot of ruthless things happening. Like, people were surrendering and people were just getting killed, or people thought they were cool, then they were getting shot in the back. Like, it was just yeah. But there is a mid-credit scene, and that mid-credit scene might as well have been in the movie, because it was the longest mid-credit scene I've ever seen. Like, for real, it had to have been like 5 minutes. It's like credits, then a scene, and it wasn't just like a stinger. It was an entire scene, like 5 minutes. But ultimately, after that, you get to see the stunts as the credits roll, and I thought the stunts were really cool to look at too. But yeah, folks, again, this is the Fatal Raid. It will be making its way to DVD and Blu-ray August 24th. If you've already checked it out, let me know in the comments. And if you're anticipating this, also let me know. But as always, stay tuned because more reviews are coming very soon. Thank you for watching, folks. Big gold bell.